Good evening, and welcome to the fifth meeting of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel, Maryland on Monday, January 12th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Clark.
Here.
Councilman Cole.
Here.
Councilman Mills.
Here.
Councilman Simmons.
Here.
President Smith.
Here.
Mayor Sidnor.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Our next agenda item is approval of minutes. We have December 15th, 2025, the regular meeting, January 7th, 2026, special meeting, and January 7th, 2026, work session. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Mr. President, I motion to approve the minutes.
All right, can I get a second?
Seconded.
All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Mills.
Yes.
Councilman Simmons.
Yes.
Councilman Cole.
Yes.
Councilwoman Clark.
Yes.
President Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Our next agenda item is the report of the Mayor and City Council. And I will start with Councilman Simmons.
Thank you, Mr. President. And just sharing a couple things over this last month or so. Actually, back in December 19th, I was honored to be at the Homeless Memorial Service at the Laurel Multi-Service Center, joining with Director LeBlanc, Philip Ott from Taking Care of Our Neighbors, Ruth Walls, Patrons for Peace, and others who were gathered there. And it's actually held on or around the longest night of the year, and is in memory of those who were homeless and who lost their lives in that process. And so it was touching to be there. Out front now, I encourage folks, when you visit the Multi-Service Center, there's a stone monument sort of out front on that side. And to just take a moment to think about that. And it's also a way of remembering those who are in our midst and who are in need and who we can help. And so I also wanted to encourage folks to consider volunteering. We are in the middle of our winter shelter program at the Multi-Service Center and need of volunteers to either check people in who are going to stay overnight there, both a group of men and a group of women, or even if you're able to stay overnight. So just an encouragement to consider that and to reach out to the Multi-Service Center. They can help arrange that for you. That next day, I was also able to join with Troop 1250 to help present an Eagle Court of Honor citation from the mayor, and recognizing that accomplishment. It was sort of good to be with that community, celebrate the years-long achievement it takes to get to that pinnacle of scouting, that rank. And while there, I took a few moments to talk about hallmarks of good leadership. And one of those was to go into the difference between power and leadership. And really, the thing I shared with the scouts and those gathered there was how leadership is the exercise of power within the guardrails of virtue and within the scouting community that's really expressed in the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. So I encouraged Bowen Grist, who is being recognized that night, to sort of charge him to carry forth that mantle of leadership and where his life takes him, and to wish him well. The turn of the year, my family and I, the last few years have taken up a growing trend or sort of tradition, I should say, that we got from a friend of ours to do a first day hike. And the state parks around the country open on that day, and even many of them provide rangers to lead hikes and even some special items that might be available that day. But it's really a way to sort of start off on the right foot. And of course, in our area, it's often cold this time of year. But even if you weren't able to make it out on January 1, I do want to encourage folks to avail of our natural resources that are all around us. That day we went to the Fairlands. I don't know if folks may know, but there's about 30 acres of walking and even biking trails behind Fairlands, sort of aquatic center and the gymnasium and other field facilities that were over there. So it could be a great way to get out, great for mental health, especially during the winter months, great for your physical health to be out in that climate. So just an encouragement, check out that first day hike, maybe make it part of your family's traditions in the coming year, and certainly just getting out of these next few months. Oh yeah, I should point out on my blog, I shared some of my family's other favorite spots that we'd like to go to. So if you can go to adrianforlaurel.org to see those there. And also there, I shared about growing excitement around the semi-quincentennial this year. So we are here in 2026, This is the 250th year of our nation's founding. And so there's a lot of excitement. I shared on my blog just a video that's sort of helping give the background and history and energy, especially here in the state of Maryland. I wanted to express my thanks to the mayor for his collaboration and helping enable our empower our city to mark this momentous milestone with some splash and a 4th of July committee for their work on this front. So we're looking to get folks involved. So please, if anyone out there would love to be a part of this historic year and helping our city market in a special way, reach out to me and I'm happy to put you in touch with the right folks. And again, if you want to see that video, it's just on my blog at adrianforlaurel.org. That's it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Simmons. So I have Councilman Mills.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I just wanted to bring attention to a business roundtable that's going to be held by the Laurel Board of Trade on Tuesday, January 27th. It's going to be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the right here, actually, at the Municipal Center. January 27th, Tuesday, January 27th to 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. You don't have to be a member of the Laurel Board of Trade, just be a business owner and come through and network. And also been out just kind of spreading the word, trying to assist Ms. Kobik with the, trying to find some volunteers. That's one of my goals for this year is to, try to really, instead of, a lot of people want to volunteer, but don't know where to go or how to approach to volunteer for the city of Laurel. And just talking to people, throughout the city, when the businesses that we go to, and even your church, your mosque, your synagogue, spread the word. Spread the word. Let's make this job easy for all of us. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you for that, Councilman Mills. Next, we'll have Councilwoman Clerk.
Thank you, President Smith. Good evening, everyone. I wanted to start by wishing everyone a happy new year and thanking those who reached out during the holiday season with kind wishes. It was a pleasure wrapping and delivering toys and smiles to the children for the holiday season side by side with our emergency personnel teams. I would also like to give a special congratulations to Laurel resident Arthur Thompson. I had the pleasure of attending his book signing this weekend in Beltsville. I encourage you all to check out the photos on my social media page if you would like to see those. Speaking of social media, please make sure that you're regularly changing your passwords on your computers and personal devices. 'Tis the season. Just last week, someone attempted multiple times to hack into my campaign and city social media accounts. So gratefully, I have a personal team that diligently worked to research those IP addresses and identify the persons responsible. But it's just a great reminder that cybersecurity affects all of us. In closing, over the holidays, I had some really meaningful conversations with residents and friends about what it means just to serve in public office. We talked about the difference between being an elected official and being a politician. And yes, there's an absolute difference. To provide perspective, if you don't know, generally an elected official serves the people with humility. They honor their oath to the Constitution and understand that this position is about responsibility, not just about power. They make decisions based on what's right for the community, which means everyone, even when it's difficult or unpopular. A politician, on the other hand, is often driven by a hunger for control and approval. They focus generally on serving themselves, building their own profile, settling personal scores, and sometimes utilizing political bullying. They generally operate from a place where the end justifies the means, no matter who gets hurt along the way. Unfortunately, we've been conditioned to believe that to be successful in politics, you have to be mean, cutthroat, or bully people into submission. That's simply not true. That's just how some people choose to operate. And unfortunately, it's become so normalized that many think it's the only way. Over the years in my professional career, I've seen the best of public service and the worst of politics. I've watched some leaders who bring all people together and create lasting change. And I've also seen those who only work for the people who look like them and make them comfortable. Over the past 2 years, I've witnessed things both nationally and regionally that have deeply disturbed me, not just as an elected official, but as a resident and a human being. I've largely, chosen to take the high road. I've watched and I've said minimal or as needed. I focused on the work, on policy, on serving you with integrity. My votes may not always be popular, but I always try to read, research, and make an informed decision before saying yes or no. But please know that there's always a backstory to things that happen, not just what you see on TV or social media or here in the neighborhoods. I'm always available to answer your questions, so please feel free to contact me at any time if you have questions or concerns. And here's what I also want you to know. I'm here to serve. I'm not here to perform. I'm committed to continuing the work for Laurel that we all deserve. A city that creates real opportunities for all working families, protects our most vulnerable residents, and governs with both competence, respect for all persons, and compassion. Now, I'm still going to lead with respect in 2026, but I will not be silent when I see an injustice or behavior filled with political discourse at any level that contradicts the values of public service. I am here to do the right thing, even if it's not popular or it's a lonely road. I'm okay with that. I will continue to be grateful for God's protection and how he is guiding me. So thank you for 2025, and I look forward to the work ahead in 2026. Mr. President, I now yield the floor back to you.
Thank you, Councilman Clerk. Next, we'll have Councilman Cole.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. Back in December, it seems like it was so long ago at this point, but it really wasn't that far off. But before the holidays, on December 22nd, I attended Laur's second annual Light Walk. It is a fundraiser and a time for the neighbors to come together and walk through the historic district and look at the holiday lights. There were a lot of them this year. The walk is about 1.5 miles, and it's typically the Monday before Christmas. So I encourage everyone to keep an eye out for that next year. On December 30th, I attended the retirement for K9 Unit Loki. It was fun to watch a dog retire after 10 years of active service. Then in the new year, I started working again on legislation. On January 2nd, I worked for many hours updating the body art ordinance that we discussed at the October work session. That has now been pushed to Council and Economic and Community Development Review. So I'm hoping that that will be coming before Council again, either in February or March. On January 4th, I attended the Laurel Volunteer Fire Department Auxiliary Breakfast. For those that would like to attend the next one, it is going to be on Sunday, February 1st, weather permitting. Then this past Monday, on the 5th, I submitted an updated ordinance for native gardening and weeds in the city. So we recently passed, about 4 years ago now. Sorry, the dog is making some noise. We submitted for No Mow April. But what we did not do is submit for people to be able to do native gardening the rest of the year. And this ordinance update, whenever it comes before Council, would fix that. Upcoming meetings for committees I serve on. The Pride Committee will be meeting on next Thursday, that's 22nd at 6 p.m. in the Armory. And Environmental Affairs will be meeting on Thursday, February 5th at 6 p.m. virtually. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you. I will go before I move on to the mayor. I just want to wish everyone a happy new year and condolences to all the families and people that have lost loved ones over this season, this holiday season. There's several people I personally know and some I don't know, but everyone else does know them as well. And I won't go down the list of naming names, but I just want to say keep those families in your prayers. I didn't get to mention, because it actually happened after our meeting, but I attended former Councilman Mitchell's annual toy drive at the Boys and Girls Club. And there were several, probably a little over, I don't want to say 100 kids, but a lot of kids and families there. Don't know if all were from the city or just, of course, from the Laurel area. So kudos to the Boys and Girls Club and former Councilman Martin Mitchell for doing that in the community. There's never enough. There's never too much of giving back. So I do want to take my hat off to that. I spent some time there, and I do like what I saw. So cheers to them for that. And that concludes my report. Mr. Mayor, you have the floor. I believe you have some appointments. So I'll let you, I don't know if you're starting with that or going on your report first.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Once again, Happy New Year to everyone. Hope everyone had a happy New Year and a safe holiday. I want to start off by congratulating Officer Timothy Jubilee and his wife on the birth of their baby girl, Noah Jane. I also want to pay condolence to a lifetime friend of the city of Laurel, Mr. Fred Fredericks. I got to meet Mr. Fredericks one time when I was a council member. Went down to his shop. He had a tour of Laurel economic development stuff, and Mr. Fredericks was one of the hosts. Mr. Fredericks has been in business 68 years, and so we want to pay our condolence on behalf of the city of Laurel and the city council and myself and the staff. So Mr. Fredericks, job well done. You rest in peace. On January the 8th, we had a meeting with the University of Maryland Medical Center. We meet once a quarter and talk about trends going on in the city, just a communication meeting. And they highlight that the flu is heavy in our zip code here. So make sure you get your flu shot, make sure you wash your hands, and make sure you use hand sanitizer and things of that nature, and wear masks if you possibly can. So they just want us to put that information out. Once again, also, congratulations, K9 Loki. Like Councilman Cole said, we attended that K9 ceremony. When a police K9 is in service after 10 years, that K9 get to retire. And so I don't know if we get a retirement pension or not, but so he's retired. So K9 Loki will be at home with Sergeant Berry, I believe. Let Sergeant Berry turn him into some other type of, give him away, donate him to, not donate him, but just give him to someone else. But right now, I think Sergeant Berry's have the dog, but the dog will no longer be in service. So job well done. K9 Loki had a stellar career. So going on to some announcements. As January 19th, is a day of service. It's a federal holiday recognizing Dr. King. And so if you want to come to the Multi-Service Center from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we'll be there in the gym, packing stuff for the senior citizens there. And also have a small ceremony. Kareem Kubak and former Councilman Johnson is heading that program. January the 21st is a community roundtable discussion. What I did, I reached out to the clergy, reached out to returning citizens, students, and business people to talk about some programs that we can get our juveniles involved in before the summer break come in, and that way we have something in place, because juveniles continue to meet up. They had some meet up in Largo a couple of weeks ago. As you know, the big meetup we had over the summer last year. So we just want to be proactive. We want to put some prevention programs in place, because we always can do intervention or we can do consequences, but let's find out some prevention methods first. So we want to call those individuals around table and have some discussions. Once again, January 21st from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Your clergy, returning citizen, law enforcement, school teachers, principals, whoever is the community, just regular citizens as well. We want your input. We want students to come as well. So I reached out to the students at Laurel High School and I told them about it, and Principal Dinkins as well, and Dr. Harris, the community coordinator. So if we get a good turnout there, so council, you're available that day, please come out as well. Proclamations, we're gonna, on January the 9th is Marcus Colbert Day. As you know, Marcus Colbert was an employee who was killed in action at DPW. So every January the 9th, we honor Marcus Colbert. So the proclamation has been up, and then we have the park name out and everything. So once again, Marcus Colbert and his family, we thank you for the service you've done for the city of Laurel. Human Traffic Prevention Month, January 11th. So we're gonna honor that as well. And also this past Laurel Fire Department Annual Toy Drive, 11th Annual Toy Drive. Once again, the Laurel Fire Department, the Police Department, the Rescue Squad, they always given to our community, and this is the 11th year they've done that, so we honor them as well. Mr. President, as I'm making now, I can make my appointments, reappointments.
Appointments, Mayor.
Okay, so appointments, so we're gonna go back to Francesca Valencia, Arts and Council, to go January the 12th, 2026 to January the 12th, 2028. Matthew Nabinger, Arts Council, from January 12th, 2026 to January 12th, 2029. Melissa Mawyer, Arts Council, from January 12th, 2026 to January 12th, 2029. That's for the Arts Council. Now for the Seniors Residents with Disability, former Councilman Johnson, from January 12th, 2026 to January 12th, 2028. Those are the appointments. Do you want me to go to the reappointments now, or you want me to wait until you, how you want me to proceed, Mr. President?
Read them all, and then
Okay, not a problem. Thank you, Mr. President. The reappointments is Inka Patel, Arts Council, from January 2026 to January 12th, 2029. And Davonia Bryant, Education Advisory Committee, from January 12th, 2026 to January 12th, 2028. So make those appointments and those reappointments, and thank those individuals for their service. The council should have received the resumes for the appointments And the reappointments, those are the same individuals that's getting reappointed. So thank you, council, for your confirmation in advance.
All right, thank you. Well, can I get a motion to approve, to appoint and reappoint the said individuals?
Go ahead, Mr. Simmons.
Okay, thank you. Mr. President, I move that we accept the appointments by the mayor for both the appointments and the reappointments as presented.
All right, can I get a second? Thank you, Councilman Cole. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Simmons,
Yes.
Councilman Cole,
Yes.
Councilman Mills,
Yes.
Councilwoman Clark,
Yes.
President Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Our next agenda item is the general public hearing. Of course, this is the moment where we want to hear from you, the community. So again, if anyone signed up, so far I do have a list, and I know you, Mr. Gibbs, you're speaking on item number 8. So you'll wait until then, but I'm going to open the public hearing at 6:20 p.m. and I'm going to close the public hearing at 6:20 p.m. seeing there's no one signed up to speak besides Mr. Gibbs for item 8. Moving on to agenda item number 7, bid recommendation, 10 additional Axon Fleet 3 systems for the police vehicles. Director Cornwell Shield, you have the floor.
Thank you, and good evening, Council President Smith, Mayor Sidnor, and council members. Before you is the bid recommendation for the purchase of 10 additional Axon Fleet 3 systems for police vehicles, which was discussed at the work session earlier this evening. I'm available for any questions that you may have.
Any comments or questions from the council? No, I'll take them. Oh, sorry. Councilwoman Clark.
No problem. Thank you, President Smith. I actually wasn't able to put my hand up during the work session quick enough. I did have the question of, could you please tell me what happens to the existing camera systems that are being replaced, and will they be repurposed or sold? Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, these 10 are not replacing any cameras. They are going into new vehicles that were purchased as part of the lease program this year. So they're all going into new vehicles this time. For previous rounds of this, they have been sold back for a discount to Axon, but this time they're all new.
Thank you.
Any more comments or questions from the council? No, well, I'll take a motion.
Mr. President, I motion, I don't have it right in front of me because I just planned on approving it. I motion that we approve this bid recommendation for the 10 additional Axon Fleet 3 systems for the police department through the Department of Information Services.
Thank you, Councilwoman Clark. Can I get a second?
Seconded.
All right, Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Councilwoman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Simmons,
Yes.
Councilman Mills,
Yes.
Councilman Cole,
Yes.
President Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Last agenda item is introduction and first public hearing on ordinance number 2052, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of Laurel, Maryland to amend Laurel City Code Chapter 11, Planning and Development, Article 3, Affordable Housing Program, Section 11-53, for sale affordable housing to update and supplement the for sale housing requirements and providing for an effective date. All right, and Mr. Taub, I believe you have the floor.
Thank you, President Smith. During the work session, we discussed the proposed amendments to the language of this proposed ordinance. And I don't know if you want me to go over it all over again. I'd be happy to, but it was discussed, and I don't think there were any significant questions, but I'm happy to answer any questions that there might be.
Sure, you can go through it.
All right, I'll be glad to go through it. On the first page of the proposed legislation, we have the 3 whereas clauses. In the second whereas, we just added, make sure it was clear that it was the mayor and city council that will determine the necessity for this language. And the third whereas on this page, it was simply to assure that it's clear that the affordable sales price will be compared to the comparable models of the for sale market rate units. On the second page, we wanted to clarify that condominiums, number one, certainly will be counted as units with regard to the requirement for affordable units. But it also is going to clarify that the condominiums can be created either in a townhouse or in a multifamily building. With regard to the subsection AI of this proposed legislation, this is to clarify that with regard to the issue of the corridor center, that particular development, due to existing approvals for that center, will be required to provide a minimum of 6% of the affordable units for that particular development. With regard to subsection C, again, we're trying to assure that it's clear that the sales price for the affordable units will be compared to the comparable models of the market rate units. On page 3, subsection I, we're just assuring that the requirement for a declaration of covenants will clearly relate to the requirements set forth in subsection K on the following page. But I would also clarify, as noted by Councilman Simmons, that on the last line of page 3, where it says, and as signee, it should be as signee. That's one word, ASSIGNEE. Just a technical matter. And Mr. President, that would constitute all the proposed substantive amendments to this legislation. And again, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Is there any comments from the council before I open the public hearing? No, hearing none. Oh, sorry, Councilman Simmons.
Sorry, just real quick, I wanted to let residents know if they were interested for more detail on how this works, they can refer to the recording from our work session last Wednesday. I believe that was the 7th. If someone really wants to go through, we spent about an hour and a half really taking this and putting it back together. And I also wanted to express my appreciation to my council colleagues, to the mayor and to the city team for everybody's stick-to-itiveness and the conversations back and forth, the language deletions, corrections, additions, and everything like that. I really feel like it was made better for everyone's input. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Councilman Simmons. Any other comments from the council before I open the public hearing? Hearing none. I will open the public hearing on this at 6:27 p.m. And I have Mr. Gibbs. Are you here?
He's here, Mr. President. I just need the panelists should be coming on.
Sorry.
Here we go. Can
There.
you hear me now, Mr. President?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. President, members of the council, Mr. Mayor, Edward Gibbs, an attorney with offices in Largo, and I'm here this evening on behalf of Pulte Homes, which of course is the developer of Corridor Center, which has been through all of its entitlements, and we proposed actually affordable units for sale as part of our initial submittal at the time of the conceptual site plan. And we would just indicate our support for the proposed legislation as the draft appears before you this evening. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you for that, Mr. Gibbs. Is there any questions for Mr. Gibbs at the moment? No comment. All right. Thank you, Mr. Gibbs. I'm going to close the public hearing at 6:29 p.m. And so since there being no further business to come before this council, this meeting is adjourned.